So, welcome to the podcast. A guy actually that we've been really mad keen to speak to for a while. So it's awesome that you're here. Welcome to the show, Brian Martin. How are you, Brian?
Thank you very much, Rod, for having me. Yeah, I'm well. All things considered during COVID, I'm pretty well. Kids are well, so yeah, life is pretty good.
Good stuff, good stuff. And that's what I was going to start the conversation with, basically, is obviously you're a piper with Field Marshal Montgomery. And I think in a previous episode, we did actually hear from your pipe major and basically saying that you guys had a bit of a break over lockdown.
Yeah, I think like most bands, Rob, I think we're really just taking to the government guidelines. And from the end of last season, the band really hasn't had the chance, unfortunately, to get together.
Yeah.
Um, and I think speaking to other friends from other bands, it seems to be the same worldwide, really.
Aye, that's it indeed. But we're going to get into exactly why we're talking to you on this week's episode. But first of all, for those living internationally and that, for who may not know you, Brian, I have done a little bit of my own research here. I know you give me a little bit of a background, but I have done my own kind of digging. Right, I didn't know that you actually started piping at the age of 9. So that's
That's right.
kind of similar to myself. I lifted the sticks when I was 9. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, I was kind of lucky because my oldest brother, Ian, he played in Rafferty Pipe Band, and I was kind of dragged along as part of the car journey to pick him up. And I remember sitting in Rafferty Band Hall, and basically when I was 9, I just got the bug. And ever since then, I'm still going.
That's it, and the rest is history, as they say. So,
Pretty much.
if you don't mind, I'm going to blow your head up here. Something shocking: 11 world titles with Field Marshal, 62 majors, and you were also there, of course, for the two now famous Grand Slams by FM. And I don't know, you had actually given me a note saying that you actually managed to miss 2011's Worlds.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us what happened there? Why did you miss that World Championship?
I missed that actual season, believe it or not.
Oh, the whole season?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
no.
not a great season to miss actually, because that would have been the third Grand Slam.
Yeah, that was a
Um,
great year for FM.
it sure was. But I was there cheering them on all the way. So basically, I had my appendix taken out, and I
Ooh.
was advised. I actually met David Russell, Freddie's son. He's
Hmm.
actually now a consultant orthopedic surgeon, if I get that right. So it was him that actually said to me, "Listen, don't think about piping for a year."
Really?
And thankfully, I heeded his advice. But yeah, it wasn't the best years to miss, unfortunately.
No, that's it. 2011 was a very strong year for the band, so I'm
Mm.
sure it was difficult to sit out for that. But yeah, getting your appendix out as an adult is no joke, you know?
No, that was one of those. I just thought it was a bad steak from the night before, and actually, I phoned Richard. Believe it or not, it was the day that we were due to go to Birmingham
Right, yes.
championships, and I said I don't think I'm going to make it because I've got a grip on my arm.
Mm.
And yeah, that was basically it. And then I missed the next season, basically.
There you go. So throughout all of your time with Field Marshal Montgomery, the reason why we have you on this week's show is because now you've announced that you're actually stepping away. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, from all of your time in FM, why step away now at this point?
I suppose it's not a decision I've taken lightly. I'm what 45 now. I've done 31 years with Field Marshal.
Hmm.
I'm very fortunate in terms of the number of prizes I've won over the years, made a tremendous amount of friends. And to be completely honest, Jack, my son, is now 12 and a very talented footballer.
Hmm.
So I'm actually enjoying watching him train and as for Dramara, local team, and they've a brilliant setup. So
Yeah.
I'm one of those dads now cheering on from the sideline. And then Lottie is 7, and she's just really started playing piano and stuff. So I think I'm going to be a taxi man for the next period of time. So it was
Yeah.
kind of that, and then I suppose lockdown as well. It's like anything when you miss a full season,
Yeah.
and then you're kind of wondering, what is there going to be a season next year? And I just thought, what, time's right. I've had a magical journey, Bill Marshall, and yeah, it's a bit of a wrench, but certainly I think it's the right time for me.
That's it indeed. And like you say, with over 30 years at the top flight, That's you've bound to have some wealth of experience there, Brian. I've got a load of questions I want to ask you about that.
Sure.
But as much as about your time with bands, but you've also had a bit of a storied solo career as well. Do you want to tell us about any highlights in your solo career?
Yeah, I suppose that the main highlight for me was actually winning the Malahide solos in 2001.
Yeah.
And the reason that really stands out is because Robert Watt was by far the most talented player that we had at that stage, and I was always second to him. And he won many an All Ireland, and I was second. So the Malahide solos was kind of a new event. It's kind of added on the Friday night before the band
Yeah.
championship on the Saturday,
Hmm.
and I actually won the championship in Malahide. And my sort of thing that I can retire on is Ian McClellan was the judge that night.
There you
So I've
go.
dined out in that probably ever since.
If anything, I do remember that happening at the time,
Mm,
and then I remember the talk on the park. Then after that, it's just, oh, did you hear what happened last night?
yeah.
So yeah,
And I have to say, Trevor Bucker and I had a good night on the Friday night, and I was a wee bit tender, I have to say, on Saturday before the band.
oh dear, dear, dear.
But
No, sure,
it was
sure. Trevor
a
would
good
never
weekend.
drink, Brian. Trevor would never.
Not at all. Not at
No,
all.
no, no. All very sensible.
Of
So,
course.
can I ask then, for being at that level for so long, that had
Mm.
bound to have took some amount of work and sacrifice, Brian, to keep that going.
Yeah, I think when you work under Richard Parks, anybody that's played with him would say that he is just an absolute perfectionist, and certainly a genius in my eyes. So
Hmm.
I think to be with him for a 31-year journey, yes, obviously there was a bit of talent there when I started off, but if you don't work hard and feel Marshall, then you simply don't play. So
Yeah.
many's and many's of years of practice and going to band practice and competitions. And I've been very fortunate because not even just competitions. I've traveled with a band. I've been America, Canada, France, Belgium, all around Scotland, all around England. So thanks to Richard leading the band, it's been an amazing experience.
Ah, superb, superb. So, can I ask then? You mentioned the legend himself. What is
Yeah.
he like as a pipe major in the band hall? Now that you're away from the band, you can say whatever you like.
Within reason. Yeah, Richard's what you see on the outside as well as what we see on the inside. He's a guy that's just absolutely formidable. I would always liken him to Alexis Sir Alex Ferguson in that, he's won so many titles,
Hmm.
both solo and band wise, but you know what? He's never satisfied. In fact, when I spoke to him about my decision, I said to him, listen, are you not content now you've got 12? He's like, not a bit of me. He said it's great that I'm 12 with a legend Ian McClellan, but you know what? I'm going for 13.
Ah,
And I
see,
think that sums the guy up.
does.
He just is a serial winner. He is just relentless. He's the best pipe major that I've obviously ever played for, and in my eyes, the best pipe major in the world.
There you go. And it is that drive and determination that kind of, it drives players such as yourself to constantly try to win, but also,
Yeah,
people like Richard, to bring the best out in folks. Do you
yeah.
think do you think he does that at practice, or does he like constantly yell and scream at people? Or do you know what I mean?
Um, I think that Richard demands respect.
Mm,
And actually, I listened to his speech when he accepted one of his doctorates. Now he's Doctor
that's
Richard
right.
Parks,
Yeah.
MBE. And one of the things I thought was really insightful was how much he credited Riff. He said about he has a partner basically for life.
Yeah.
And those of us that have known Richard for 31 years probably never thought he would ever get married because we thought he was married to the bagpipes.
Yeah.
But Riff, obviously herself, is quite an incredible person because she's prepared to live with somebody like that. Um, and he's got that behind him. So I see Richard continuing for many a year. Yeah,
That's it indeed. Showing no signs of slowing at all,
none
definitely.
whatsoever.
So I have to ask yourself, Brian, with all of your time playing in Field Marshal, being part of that machine and having that tone there, Was there ever a moment standing in the circle with the guys and you just took a moment to yourself to look around and think, look at where I am right now? Did you
Yeah,
ever do that?
several times. And even since, I've had some nice messages since I've said I'm calling it a day. And like one of my earliest memories was watching the legendary Strathclyde Police,
Yeah.
marching out of Ballyhuston Park with 12 pipers, and the sound's like 25 pipers. So never ever did I think I would ever play at that level, never mind winning a lot of competitions.
Mm.
So, and then the other thing that I always remember was, Phil Marshall was doing well. We were coming to the top. And then the first person he came across was Scott Drummond. And like, what an amazing player. Like, I've played
Yeah.
beside lots of really good players, but Scott, in my eyes, was a notch above everybody. His
Yeah.
pipes were immense. His ability, was just. And then the other thing about Scott was he's such a nice guy. He's an absolute head the ball, but one of my best friends in pipe bands. So I think when we started attracting the caliber of Scott Drummond to the band, it was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is a guy that, in my eyes, is as good a player as Stuart Little.
Mm.
And if he wanted, other than family commitments, he probably could have been as successful as Stuart in the solo front.
There you go. I have to agree. Definitely an
Mm,
outstanding player and a top guy too.
oh
Always got a
yeah.
great story for the ones that I can't broadcast. I have to say as well.
No, no, you can't really broadcast many of Scott's stories or
No.
text messages he would send you, but that's another story.
Certainly is, yeah. But Brian, honestly, it's bittersweet because honestly, we want to say thank you for all of the incredible performances throughout all the years.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for the music.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's the end of a journey. But are
Mhm.
you slamming the door shut? Is that it for piping now?
I wouldn't say so. I've announced recently that I'm up for teaching people.
Oh,
Um,
right.
the person that started me in my journey, excuse me, was the late great Freddie Russell.
Yes.
And kind of, I suppose, is more mature. I think, you know what, Freddie gave me so much. He taught a dynasty of the who's who's of the piping world.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
and you know what, I just thought it would be very selfish of me just to, you know, drift into the horizon and not giving something back. So I've offered that. And
Mm.
then I think the anything in piping, I still love it. Like I recently got Alistair Dunn to actually fix up my lorry pipes. He's done an incredible job, and so did Jonathan Lambert for me from
Hmm.
RG Hardy. So to get those pipes back, they look brand new. I'm waiting Glenn Ross pen on a new bag for me. I've got Mark Lynn's drone reeds ready to go.
There you
So
go.
yeah, I can't say I'll be setting the pipes down anytime soon.
Well, when you get a setback like that, you can't just turf them in the box and forget about them. No,
No,
exactly.
well, to be honest, again, I was incredibly lucky because about 25 years ago, me and my dad decided to invest in a set of pipes. And at that stage, Shepherd pipes were like lovely glossy magazines. And
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking, yeah, something with silver on it would look lovely. And then fortunately, I said to Richard, I'm thinking of buying a set of pipes.
Hmm.
He said, don't buy a brand new set of pipes. He said, leave it with me. And incredibly, then he got me a set of Dr. Angus MacDonald's pipes,
Ooh.
a set that
Wow.
he played, a set of lorry pipes.
Right.
And I remember Norman Dodds actually sent me when I went to him for tuition. He said the bass drum on those pipes is just awesome. So
There you
again,
go.
very lucky. I spent 1,500 quid on those pipes, and I think they're worth a few quid more now.
I would say so. That's like a piece of history on your shoulder there. Yeah.
Yeah, it did feel like that because, I suppose like anything, somebody sends you, and he was incredibly generous. He actually sent the pipes over and
Right.
said, play away at them. And he says, I don't want any money until you think they're okay.
Oh,
And I was
brilliant.
like talking to Angus McDonald, like,
Yeah.
right, okay. Felt a wee bit inferior, to say the least. And
Yeah.
then once I got them, and then Richard heard them, he was like, jeez, pay the
There you
money.
go. You've got yourself a set there. Keep them. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
There you go. So, Brian, I have to say, for anyone out there who's interested in lessons and stuff, is there any way for folks to get a hold of you then to
Yeah,
pick
well,
up any opportunities?
yeah, pretty much. I'm quite active on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. So, anybody that wants to contact me, I'm on email. So, I've got a mobile phone, so
There you go.
basically anybody that wants it. No, it's been, to be fair, quite slow. I think because of COVID, and but
Yeah,
again, I'm happy to do things over like we're doing tonight, over the
brilliant.
airways.
Yeah,
So yeah, anybody that's interested, give me a shout.
superb. And I'm just making a note for myself here, actually. If anyone was to contact ourselves on the Big Rab Show, we can direct you as well,
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
Exactly.
appreciate it.
So
Thank
I
you.
have to ask, this is a huge question now, Brian, and it's a difficult one to answer. But have you had a most memorable moment in all of your career playing with FM and all your previous bands as well? Is there any moment that really stands out to you?
Well, it's funny. Recently, I was watching the 1992 video, and actually, it was my father that took it, and it's
Hmm.
it's quite famous around the world because it was the first time at FM obviously it won the worlds, and practically when you watch that video, Northern Ireland is walking behind us. It just
Yeah.
felt like that. And then there's a moment in that video where we break into the circle at Ballahuston Park. Billy Maxwell's in the middle of the trophy.
Hmm.
Tommy Miller was dancing about, and then Freddie comes over and shakes my hand, and that just made the
Oh,
day.
there you go. So
Pretty
that
awesome.
that's even harkened back all the way down to the debut days and all of that as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
Do you remember much about the recording of debut? I have to say it was kind of so influential on my own playing. From that day, I thought I want to play an FM.
Yeah, I think what was hard about the studio recordings was you could retake. So, and Richard
Yeah.
being the perfectionist, I think we were there to midnight most nights for about 3 weeks probably. Um, Whereas all the live ones, you don't get that chance back. It's pretty
Yeah,
much live, and Richard then would pick which track was on the final cut.
I
But
see.
debut was a marathon.
I would say so. I have that impression. Richard, nope,
Yeah,
do it again, do it again, do it again.
and like he went into the booth and put the headphones on, and
Right.
then he would come out, and we'd be like, and he'd be like, "Nah, we'll need to do it again." I was like, "God's sake."
That's brilliant.
So,
But if anything, it has paid dividends. As you say,
oh yeah.
so many world titles, so many major championships. Do you, well, as a member of FM, did you ever get tired of winning? It's a kind of a stupid question to ask, but did you ever
Um,
feel that?
no, I think I'm a bit like Richard. It is like a drug. Like Richard said to me a number of times, there is no better feeling when you're standing at the World Championships where the bands have performed out of their skin
Hmm.
and the results are about to be read out. Like nothing will replace that feeling. Even just the
Yeah,
fact that you think we're in with a shout. And even the hairs are standing up on my arms now, even thinking about it
yeah,
and
yeah.
talking about it. And that moment when you're called out the world champions, like all that work that goes on all winter, it's like what a feeling.
That's it. It's worth it all in the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, Brian, I've said it already, but thank you so much for the music and that, all of your incredible years with FM. It's a testament to you, and just
Thank
you've thoroughly entertained us. So thank you so much.
you very
Uh,
much.
I have to ask you some Big Rab Show staples though before I let you go.
Okay.
Uh, can you tell us what is your favorite cheese?
Cheddar, I would say, probably a boring answer, but cheddar, yeah.
That's not boring at all. Like, would it be a Coleraine cheddar or something like that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and the ones
Good
that they're
man.
actually sliced, I don't like having to cut up because I'm quite lazy. So,
Yes, I'm just as lazy. Yeah, give it to me sliced. None of this
yeah.
block nonsense. Also, pineapple on pizza. Would you be a
Oh,
fan?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, and some
What?
ham on there as well. So
On
Lottie is
fruit?
loves pizza. So yeah, pineapple definitely.
Fantastic. And then one last question. Have you seen the current fashion trend in pipe bands with yellow flashes? Would you be a fan of yellow flashes?
I haven't seen it, but I don't like the sound of that at all.
No, I think it's a
If they
trend
were
that.
red, white, and black for Man United, then absolutely.
There you go. So, am I right in thinking that you are a bit of a soccer fan? You are a Man United fan, yeah?
Yeah, ever since I was no high, my brother and myself have been die-hard Man United fans. So again, that's another good side of it being in Field Marshal. So many of my friends were Liverpool fans and tortured me through the 70s, or sorry, 80s. And then when Sir Alex came, then I got my own back in Trump. So
There you
Alexi and
are.
Gillespie and that out there would regularly be in contact by text. So he always get when, when we won.
Excellent stuff. You know, I do think you can draw parallels between the sport world and the piping world. You know,
Yeah,
we are
absolutely.
competing, but it's an art, so it's kind of strange that way. You know.
I think as well, it's like the dedication bit, so you look at how a professional footballer prepares,
Yeah,
what goes into a pipe band, probably the amount of work is more. Professional footballers finish at, lunchtime each day.
that's it.
A,
Yeah,
a part-time musician has to practice pretty much every night of the week.
hundred
You
percent.
have
Yeah.
3 nights practice and then you're on the grass on a Saturday.
That's it, indeed. Well, I can dare say that your years of dedications have paid off dividends. And
Yeah,
yeah, thank you so much for the music. And Brian, honestly, thanks for taking time to chat to us, mate. I hope it's not the
very
last we're
welcome.
chatting to you. I hope to have you back on the show again
No,
sometime.
yep,
And, yeah, so
absolutely.
for anyone looking lessons at all, contact ourselves, or of course, you can contact Brian on social media and take up an incredible opportunity. So, Brian,
Absolutely.
I'll let you go, mate. Thank you so much for chatting to us on the
Thank you.
show. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.